Hello everybody, Brad Johnson here. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the Soul Nursery. So this was a little over a couple of months ago. It was around the time when I started to work with the Creator's Path. And of course, I've talked about the Creator's Path in previous videos as well. But I wanted to share this experience with you because with me having this experience, it was actually opening up a lot of doors with other people who were coming to me and saying, "Oh my God, Brad, I've seen the exact same thing as you. Sometimes I've gone into hypnosis, sometimes I've gone into past life regression, but I've actually seen my soul being born. And it's a wonderful, magnificent, incredible experience." And I can say the same with my own experience as well too. Now there will come a point as well too, where many of you who are watching this video may actually have a direct interest in saying, well, I'd like to know how my soul is born. I mean, really, who wouldn't want to know that, right? But this is what really helped me to get much more of a deeper personal relationship pertaining to the Mother, the Father, God, Creator. So I was meditating, and I was just going into a deep state. I was basically going into void. And then I was actually seeing one of my angels coming forward. Now, the interesting thing about this angel is that she actually has the same name of a character that I have created in my series called The Inbound. She has also been known as Anadria. So for those of you who have seen my videos in the past relating to the Inbound, I have a main character named Anadria. That Anadria character is not just a made-up name. It was something that was very, very special to me because I was actually working on originally having a second Adronis book. And as I had the second Adronis book, I was doing this with Jefferson Viscardi, and one of the sessions involved bringing in a young Pleiadian woman known as Anadria. And I just loved the name so much that I wanted to incorporate this name into the main character of the Inbound series that I was creating. But nonetheless, she came through, and she's just this beautiful, kind of like a Nordic-like angel. And she was coming to me in her angelic form, and she kind of just took me by the hand, like just I had my astral hands here, and she just took me by the hand and saying, "Brad, would you like to come and see how your soul was born?" I'm like, okay. Right? I mean, who would turn down that idea? And so I could feel myself just ascending, getting out of this void, moving past the void, and again, kind of like going up through clouds. It's like I just see these barriers of clouds just starting to dissipate away. And before I know it, I'm in this really beautiful, I guess the best way I could put it, is a soul nursery. And what I see are just a lot of these different midwife angels, as I call them. Now, the midwife angels are not souls themselves. They are spirits. They are manifestations created by the Mother. And I saw this beautiful womb. It was almost like a beautiful kind of goldish white light, and it was just kind of like an opening. And I could see one of the midwife angels. They have kind of like a multi-color spectrum to them, almost kind of like looking at a type of rainbow being. But they would hurry over to that area, and they would catch this beautiful orb array of light. And it was my soul. It was myself. But the thing is, I could not look at my soul from a first-person perspective because my soul was completely and totally blank. It had no understanding of experience. It had no understanding of the universal matrix altogether. And so there's just this little midwife angel holding my soul, again, kind of like an orb of light. And she was just, I guess you could say, flying over to a vortex matrices, as I call it. And she just deposited my soul into this vortex matrices. And as soon as that happened, poof, it was all blank to me after that. I did not know what happened after that. Now, from what I have received from a lot of other people as well too, they have had similar memories of this. They were actually able to recall the midwives, the midwife angels that were contained inside this realm. But this is the birthplace, so we could basically look at this as a type of soul plane, but like the soul nursery inside the soul plane. And there was a point, again, we can't really compare it to time, but there was a particular sequence of event where that entire nursery had countless souls existing within it. When I was seeing my soul coming out, I was seeing many other souls being born at the same time as well too. So hey, maybe that's you guys. Maybe for you guys that are tuning in, maybe we were all born at the same time. I don't know, right? But I was seeing many other souls because there was these other kind of like light openings. They again just look like a womb, right? Just opening up and seeing these midwives just flying in, kind of like honeybees, coming in and collecting the souls and then depositing them into like these cells, right? Kind of like honeycomb cells, but again, like vortexes. And they're just depositing the souls in there. And again, each of them just get completely blank, like they just have absolutely no memory of being inside the soul nursery. And my feeling is, and again, I can't really 100%, say this factually, but my feeling is where we're going is that we're being deposited into the universal matrix, and we're basically just left to wander. We just wander the universe, God's universe, beyond any particular type of linear-based time. We could go in the past, we can go in the future, we can go in the distant past, we can go in the distant future. It's all based upon ourselves. It's all non-linearity. But it's basically that we're just deposited in, and then we're wandering. We're wandering exactly where we want to go, what we want to do, how we want to express ourselves. And that's what we do as souls. So again, when you're a soul, you're this universe as well too. You're this continuum. It's you. You all have a personality to your soul. So when we look at the aspect of astrology, in any particular versions that you want to look at, be it Vedic astrology, Western astrology, etc. But whenever we're looking at the aspect of astrology, we're looking at something where we feel that, well, is it just because I have this incarnation, that I have this type of personality? No. It's the idea, again, that when you're looking at the heavens, when you're looking at the planetary alignments, when you're looking at the star alignments, when you're looking at all of these things, they are suiting themselves in the appropriate conjunctions because of the personality that you are. It's not that these things of the aspects of planetary shifts and alignments and the way the stars are aligned, that they are creating this personality for you. That's not possible. You have a unique personality as a soul. So this expression here in the physical body that your soul has created is part of a unique personality that you have. And you will always have this type of personality. That personality will never, ever diminish. So you will always evolve your personality. You will always start to transform it, move it into greater understanding as well too. But you'll never be blanked from your own personality, right? Your personality existed right when you were the soul, being carried by this midwife angel, and then being deposited in a vortex matrices, and then coming into God's universe. So each and every single one of us were born with a unique personality. Like I said, it's like looking at the snowflakes, and the snowflakes, again, have their own unique patterns. But there is, again, a point in that soul nursery where there were just countless. You can't even count the souls. There was so vast. It was so incredible. It was like a sea of souls that were in there. All I can remember is that when I saw mine, I did not see a sea of souls. So that's just how I saw it through my own perspective. There were many others being born. I couldn't even really count. I couldn't really guess at how many others. But I would not say it's within the trillions or anything like that. It was basically within the dozens, I would say. Many, many dozens of different souls. Just from my own vantage point where I was flying around and going into the soul nursery as well too. And then again, seeing my soul just being caught. And I was just looking into my soul like I was in third person. It was just like I had floating eyeballs in outer space or in this realm. And I was looking at my soul, felt nothing. It was just completely blank. It was like looking at a newborn baby, right? Just completely fresh, completely new to the world. Didn't know how to communicate, didn't really know what was going on. And then, poof, deposited into the vortex matrices, these honeycombs, these kind of honey cells. And then being placed into what I can only assume is the vortex matrices that would take you into God's universe. And then just having the soul go on soul journeys and start looking and experiencing and exploring all of these different realms altogether. So I want to share this with you because it was one of the most beautiful experiences I have ever had. And I just felt such a personal connection with God when I was looking into the realm, because it's not like I saw a face of God or anything like that, but I knew that it was God. I knew that it was the mother that again brought forward my soul and it answered so many questions to myself. How did my soul come into being? How did this all happen? How did I get in this universe? What is it with all these sojournings? Like, how does the soul itself come into this universe? What's going on? And so when I had this whole experience relating to going on the soul journeys and just, again, being deposited into this vortex matrices, then having a blank, like I said, all I can assume is that you wander the universe and you just start seeing something that kind of piques your interest, and now you start working with incarnation. It's kind of like how babies in that sense will naturally have the instinct to cry. Babies in that sense will naturally have the instinct to suck in that way, right? So the same thing with the soul is that the soul will have a natural instinct to incarnate, to take form, to express itself in that way. And again, we can't really describe this linearly because it's all based upon non-linear understandings. But when you guys come to this particular level, and I may be talking to people who have already seen this, and that's great. But for those of you who have not seen your soul being born, this would be one of the greatest requests I would suggest to you, is talking to your angels, talking to God, talking to Spirit, and saying, I would love to see my soul being born. I would love to see myself going inside this soul nursery. And you're going to see yourself being birthed by God. And that's the nature about, if you're an atheist and you see something like this, you're going to eliminate that feeling altogether. It was so vivid. It was so beautiful. It was so wondrous. There's a lot of things that I probably could have even done with different vantage points to look at this a little bit deeper, but I was really just concentrating on my soul and seeing how it was being deposited and just seeing these midwife angels, again, like they're like little honeybees just floating around and collecting souls, and it was the most remarkable, beautiful thing ever. And I have to thank the Anadria angel for sharing this with me as well too, coming through and just kind of picking me up and taking me through the clouds and being able to see this incredible soul nursery. So this again is what you see so far beyond your physical body, right? Because like I said, I just saw myself as this beautiful, multicolored, glowing orb of light that represented a soul. And you're just seeing yourself completely in the state of the non-physical. And that does something to you, right? It's no longer feeling that you need to associate yourself with the physical body so much. Because everything that we feel that we have to experience, even in meditative experiences, well, we got to have some type of shape of our physical body to see it, to experience it. Well, what if we take that skin and we put it aside, and we see ourselves simply as this beautiful orb of loving light? And we see ourselves as just this streaming or trailblazing light that just wraps itself around the entire universe. And we can feel all the sequences of life happening in this universe simultaneously. Well, guess what? We can do that. That's the power, the nature of our soul. And so it's really encouraged me to look at things much more deeper on a soul level, to look more deeper into this universe that the Mother has created for all of us, and just being able to wrap yourself around it as this trailblazing light, and seeing yourself much more in the non-physical, and seeing these incredible things unfold. So looking into the soul nursery and understanding more about how our souls are born and where we actually came from, it was all through God. It was all through the idea that the great soul, the master soul, the aspect of God herself, himself, has birthed her children into being. And now having all these little midwives coming in and depositing you in vortex matrices and having you come into universes and just exploring what you feel you want to explore based upon your personality, your unique personality. And that's, again, questions that people ask me, saying, well, Brad, when we die, do I lose my personality? No. You cannot lose that which you are. You don't lose your personality. Your personality will always be your personality. Even if someone blank slates you, you may not have the memories of a lifetime, like, of course, what happens here on Earth when we come in, and many of us don't remember about anything that's happened before, etc. But we still have our unique personality. You cannot obliterate that. That can never be obliterated. You will always have the unique personality of yourself. And again, your soul has created this whole body as a unique expression, as a unique canvas of your own soul expressing itself here in physical reality. So look into that. Look into soul nurseries and see what amazing experiences you discover by going into meditation or in any other way you want to, be it regressions, hypnosis, etc. And feel free to share your stories as well too, right? I think it's just a fascinating subject, looking into being born inside the soul nurseries. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll speak to you again in the next video. Take care. Namaste.